Hey everyone, I'm Waller's Wallet, and in this video, I'm going to tell you about my best travel redemption. But first, if you're new to this channel is all about credit cards, credit card rewards, and showing you how to use your points and miles to travel for less. So if that's something that interests you, consider subscribing and turn the notification bell on as well. Now, I've always found it interesting what people consider to be the best redemption. Is it cent per point? Is it the quickest route? Is it a preferred airline? Maybe it has nothing to do with any of those, but all I know is the best redemption is quite subjective. But in my case, my best redemption has nothing to do with the cent per point value. Now, I guess I should tell you too that this video has more personal aspects of my life and how credit card rewards have helped make certain things happen in my life. So a quick backstory on how my best redemption came about. So if you've been watching this channel, you'll know that my wife and I had a son back in January. But what most people don't know, although I feel like I've been pretty open about it, is the fact that my wife and I have had fertility issues for about 3 years before we had the birth of our son. And we had gone through a bunch of different medications and procedures, all of which were unsuccessful. And after a few failed procedures and running out of options, we were really only left with in vitro fertilization or IVF. But IVF in the US is stupid. I mean, stupid expensive. And we're talking between like $20,000 to $25,000 per cycle. And that is a lot of money. But you know what? I guess they figure if you want a kid bad enough, you'll find a way to pay for it. But man, $20,000 cycle is just so expensive. Fortunately enough, we were actually put in contact with a couple who had done IVF treatments over in the Czech Republic. And they actually had success doing it there. So we actually went to dinner with them and we picked their brains and got some details about the clinic. And after talking to them, we actually decided we would look more into this avenue. And when we looked at the prices were a fraction of what they would be here in the US. I mean, our overall procedure, including medications, was only about $3,500. So realistically, even if the procedure failed, we could have 6 to 7 procedures for the cost of just one round here in the US. And since we love to save money, and this mixed in the love of travel with the hopes of having a kid, this seemed to be a great option for us. So this is where our points and miles really came into play, because the thing with IVF, it's pretty time sensitive and things can change really quickly. And when it came to booking, I actually ended up transferring points from our Citi Thank You Point account to Singapore Airlines and booked our flights on Austrian Airlines for 55,000 points and $347 in taxes one way, and we flew into Vienna. It was the quickest and most direct option for us as well, and actually I really liked Austrian Airlines. It was probably one of my better coach experiences to date. Now, I could have chosen a different option to use my points and save a little bit of cash, but the reason why I chose Singapore Airlines is if you need to change your flight, their fees to change are actually very reasonable. And since there was a real possibility I might have to change our flights, I thought this was a great option for us. And man, I'm really happy I did, because I actually had to move our flights up a week. And when I contacted Singapore Airlines, I had a little bit of luck because they only charged me $5 instead of the $50 it was supposed to be to change my flights. And for the flight home, I was actually sitting on a boatload of American airline miles because I was hoarding them in case we needed to make this trip multiple times. And I ended up booking us home on coach for 60,000 miles and taxes in total. But 2 days we were actually before to leave Vienna, I noticed there was Saver business space on our flight. So I actually called American Airlines and upgraded our seats to fly on their business class on their 777. So we actually paid a total of 115,000 miles one way, plus taxes and fees. And at the time I had the Barclay Aviator Red Card, so we received 10% back in miles as well. Then when it came to our accommodations, I actually booked us an apartment through Hotels.com. And I chose Hotels.com for a few reasons. First, the apartment I booked was cheaper on Hotels.com than over on Airbnb. Go figure that one. Now, I'd actually moved my wife's Capital One Venture miles to my Venture card and booked through Hotels.com, and I earned 10 miles per dollar as well when I booked through Hotels.com. And I redeemed just over 110,000 Venture miles to pay for our roughly 2-week apartment stay, bringing that cost to $0 out of pocket. Plus, we got to spend about 2 weeks in Brno for the cost of taxes and fees, plus food costs or any other activities that we wanted to do, which the dollar is actually quite strong in the Czech, so it really wasn't too expensive. In the breakdown for the cost of the procedure, it was $2,700 for the procedure itself, plus about $800 for medications that we needed. And even those costs, I was able to use money actually from our HSA to reimburse ourselves for that, and I paid for the procedure using my USA Limitless, which I earned $87.50 back in rewards. See, what's great is that the points game was able to reduce our cost a lot. We were able to visit another part of the world to make our dream of starting a family really a realistic option. And fortunately for us, we had success the first time around, and in January, our little man was born. And for me, that has been my best redemption to date. So while many people might look at the best value in terms of cent per point, I think there are other ways to determine value for your redemptions. Now I know I didn't get the best cent per point value for those redemptions, but my points and miles were able to give me something far more valuable than I think any first class suite on the market. And I also just want to mention, if you or someone you know wants more information on the clinic we used, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. Just shoot me an email because we know how discouraging it can be. But my question for you is, what has been your best redemption? Hey, if you liked this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you know somebody who might benefit from this video, feel free to share it with them. And if you want to help support the channel, a simple way would be use the links on the website or in the description below. And if you like learning about credit cards, points, miles, cashback, or just thought of traveling for less, consider the subscribe button down below. And until next time, safe travels and take care.